Year One is a restoration parts manufacturer and retailer that likes to get involved, and they just hosted the Year One Experience, a weekend-long event with something for everyone.
The guys at Year One put together an event every year where they are at two different places. One is at Atlanta Dragway, which is where we are in Commerce, Georgia, and right down the road, they're at Road Atlanta. It's a road course that's, it's amazing. It's a really cool looking event. They've got a whole bunch of show cars out there, street cars, the ORSCA's here. We bought our street car Biscayne to have a little fun with, and we're gonna tear her up this weekend just for fun.
Nick has been tuning his buddy's 1966 Biscayne to be a true street sleeper, a car that doesn't look anywhere near as fast as it really is. They let us make a few exhibition passes on the drag strip at Atlanta Dragway.
Well, spun the tires a little bit. I think what we're gonna do is put a little bit less nitrous in the first stage of nitrous and take a little air pressure out of the tires and see if it makes a difference.
He did say the first stage of nitrous. This Biscayne is powered by a 540 cubic inch big block Chevy built by Fast Times Motorworks.
Trying to get the flattest footprint that you can get. So if you lower the air pressure, when the car leaves, hopefully the tire will lay flat to the ground as good as possible. Well, we just got back from a run and ran a 1066 at about 132 miles an hour. I was hoping for a little bit more, but unfortunately when I floored it on the starting line, it spun the tires real bad. I got out of it and got in it one more time, and it bit. I ran a 1066. It's not bad considering, we're talking a 4,400 pound car here, that it's totally streetable.
Mid 10 seconds in the quarter mile is very respectable, and the Biscayne caught the eye of Carcraft Magazine's Jeff Smith.
Nick has a reputation for building cars that are large, big heavy cars, Impalas, Biscaynes and stuff like that, and it's a neat car because it's not your normal Camaro, Chevelle, Nova deal. It's a big car with a big motor, but yet it doesn't look like it. I mean, and you drive it on the street all the time. That's the best part about it. It's not a single-purpose car.
The motor and trans that's in this car was actually in an Impala that I built years ago to drive across country for Hot Rod Magazine and their power tour. The car got 12 miles to the gallon going from one end of the country to the other.
Yeah, well, it's just, big inch motor, a little bit of nitrous, and a chassis that works. I mean, what's easier than that? It's really a situation where, you can make a ton of power, but if it doesn't hook up, it's really kind of useless. So you end up spinning the tires halfway down the track, and it's really not safe. So these guys worked on making the thing hook. It's real simple. You look under the rear suspension, there's very little to it, and yet it works. And they've worked on the power, and then you gradually increase the power as you can increase the traction and stuff on it. They've widened the rear wheel well a little bit to fit a bigger tire, and you make it stick, and then plant the nitrous to it. So and 548 inches don't hurt.
One of the tricks Nick used to increase the Biscayne's traction was to shorten the instant center length. Instant center is the imaginary point where the lower and upper rear control arms would meet if they were long enough. By elevating the upper control arm mount, you change the geometry and shorten the instant center length. It basically makes the triangulation shorter. This reduces the control arm's leverage and plants the tires in a more aggressive manner on the track.
It really does everything you could ever ask for from a tank, basically, another freak of nature. Cars this big just were never meant to go this fast. When people would see these cars, they would always, correlate them to being driven by a grandma to church on Sundays. Well, if she went to church on Sundays in this, she'd get there pretty fast.
I think Nick says around 1064, 132, and then it's capable of going quicker, I know, if you put a little more squeeze to it. So it's very impressive for a real heavy car. You don't look at this and think, that's a 10-second car, and there's going to be guys out there with much lighter cars going, damn.
Now the cool part about a car like this is that it's so simple. I mean, if you look inside of it, there's not a single gauge in it except for the ones that came from GM. It's a speedometer and a gas gauge.
The funny thing about this is there's nothing else to shoot.
There's no roll bar, no fire, seatbelt restraints like that are on race cars. It's got the standard seatbelts on it.
You're used to seeing interior shots with gauges and shifters and stuff, and there isn't anything here.
Now the not so cool part is that it just got done running 1060s.
From a legality standpoint, they can only go so fast with the car because it doesn't have a roll bar in it and that kind of stuff. But still, it's fun, and it looks like your mom's grocery getter.